Hello and welcome to Stories That Shape Us. My name is Joanna Daniel. Thank you for joining me on this journey, on this rejection series journey. If this is your first time listening to the podcast or joining me here on YouTube, then please go back to the ones that we've done before and listen to the rejection series. Why does rejection hurt so much? What does rejection feel like, rather? And some of the things that we do when we experience rejection. So please go back and watch those and just get some insights and understanding. If rejection is something that you're managing, something that you're dealing with, then you might find this useful. Today's podcast is about, why does rejection hurt so much? Why does it feel? Why does it hurt so badly when we're rejected? And of course, nobody wants to be rejected. Nobody likes it. But why does it hurt? What is it about it that hurts so much? And I this is my point of view on rejection. There might be many different viewpoints on rejection. You may have experienced rejection, and it might feel different. And I talk about, in one of the days, I talk about what it feels like. So the bodily sensations that are happening, not what we think about it, because oftentimes it's more comfortable to talk about what we think as opposed to what we feel, because we'd have to connect with real feelings, and that can be really challenging. So I want to talk about, why does it hurt so much when we experience rejection? And I believe one of the reason, and maybe the main reason rejection hurts so much, is the story that we tell ourselves about rejection. That story, the pain is in the story that we tell ourselves about it. When we tell ourselves, it's because I'm bad, it's because I am not lovable, or no one wants to be with me, those stories are really hard to dispute without being very intentional. Without being very intentional, those stories are very hard to dispute. So why does rejection hurt? And if you're telling yourself another story like, it's because no one wants to be with me, so then there's going to be another thought on, no one wants to be with me. No one wants to be with me because I am, and you can fill in the blanks with whatever you fill in the blanks with. Why do you feel nobody wants to be with you? And for me, the rejection now becomes not the problem, not the issue, is, why do you feel like nobody wants to be with you? What is it about you that you've convinced yourself about that is not good, that people might not want to be with you? I bet if you do a poll of people that are around you, safe people, they'll say things like, you're fun, you're easy to talk to, you're a lot of things. But there are other people who might not not necessarily feel the same way, but you're not aligned with them. And so sometimes those are the people you might want to be with. And then you might convince yourself that no one wants to be with you. And so let's look at no one wants to be with me for a little bit. I like to kind of pick things apart. Let's look at no one wants to be with me. So I'm thinking, who is no one? Because we have billions of people in the world, right? And if you're rejected by a few people, they're not no one. So they are 5 people, the people in my class. 5 people out of my class don't want to be with me. I am from a class of 35 other people, but 5 people out of the 35 don't want to be with me. So sometimes we do all or nothing thinking when we're assessing rejection, because sometimes that stops us from feeling what we feel, working through the feelings. So those are sometimes ways of avoiding it. So what do I think about rejection? And it hurt. Now, if no one wants to be with me, of course that's going to hurt, because no one in the whole wide world wants to be with me. That means I'm on my own, and we were created to connect. We were created for connection. And when no one, the idea that no one wants to be with me will be overwhelmingly painful, because that means I'm going to be on my own, adrift in this big wide world, right? So that's why we have to kind of harness those thoughts, bring those thoughts in, and really tell them the truth. So lots of people wants to be with you, but 5 people out of your class don't want to be with you, or 5 people at church don't want to be with you, or those people over there don't want to be with you, or my neighbor, or my mother, or my father, or my siblings, or my cousins. Narrow it down. Tell yourself the truth about it. Who are the people who don't want to be with you? Because it's not everybody. It's not no one. It's 5 people. It's 2. It's 1 individual, right? So really let yourself be. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do the work of working through, because if it's your mother, then that has its own implications. If it's your father, a sibling, family member, people who you trust and love, and they can't love you back. Now, that is another layer of healing that needs to happen. But first, we need to tell ourselves the truth about what you feel and what exactly is going on. So, no one wants to be with me is not true. We need to tell the truth. The truth is 5 people, 2, 1, whoever don't want to be with me. And I am hurt because my mother rejects me, or I am hurt because my colleagues don't want to hang out with me. They never invite me out for drinks, or they never invite me to lunch, or whatever it is that happens. I am hurt because my siblings get together in their sibling groups and nobody invites me. So we're telling the rejection the truth, right? Doesn't mean it's not going to hurt, but we're telling it the truth. It's not no one, it's these specific people. And so it has implications. When my siblings meet up and they never invite me, that hurts. So I can say, I am hurt because they've all gone out and they've not invited me. Now that's all you tell yourself. Because if you tell yourself anything else, all of that might not be true, because we do emotional reasoning, and that's another distortion, right? So we might reason it out emotionally. My siblings went out and never invited me, therefore I am bad, or they don't like me. None of that might be true. The truth might be completely different to what you have let your brain has come up with. So that's one. My mother doesn't my mother rejects me because I am whatever it is that you say that you are. None of that might be not be true. It's purely to do with her. This is her. This is her problem. This is her stuff that she's going through. It's absolutely nothing to do with you. My colleagues didn't invite me out for drinks because you fill the blanks in. Again, it might be nothing to do with you. Some of them might not like you. That's true, because the truth, here's another truth. Not everybody will like you. And I would be lying to you and setting you up for rejection if I tell you that everybody should. Everybody won't. But you have your people that will, because you're not aligned with everybody. You probably won't like everybody either. You won't want to be with everybody either, because your values are different to theirs. Their values are different to yours. The little things about them that is different to yours, that is not aligned culturally, you might not be able to understand each other. There's so many things that might make people, when they come together, not get along. But here is the crucial thing to consider. It's not about you. People are making decisions about who they want to be with, what they want to do, and who they want to do it with. So the rejection, if you make it personal, then that's when it hurts so much. Because when you make it personal, you're going without information, without them saying to you, I don't want to be with you because, then that's a different thing. But when they don't, and you mind read, then you're going to put yourself in a position to experience enormous pain, and you're going to find ways to avoid that pain, develop sometimes unhealthy ways of coping, and spiral you in a pattern of behavior that is going to be sometimes detrimental to your own physical and mental health. So it's really important to understand and know exactly what's going on. Sometimes you might tell yourself, I am bad, or I'm unlovable, and that's why people don't want to be with me. And again, it's not where you fall on the I love you scale. It's none of those things. So really important to be able to assess what is going on, who doesn't want to be with me. I feel rejected. It feels like this. This is what I need to do to look after myself. Let me find safe communities, people that I can connect with emotionally, spaces where I can be honest, where there's vulnerability. And that's another thing. Know what's important to you, because sometimes the people that reject us and we experience this deep crippling rejection, I mean, outside of our families, it's probably not people that are aligned with us anyway. It's just that it's nice to be included. And that's everybody. We all want to be included. And when we're not included, it can feel hurtful. And sometimes people don't manage that really well. They don't say, I'm doing this thing, but I can't have you because we don't manage that really well. And sometimes we have to admit that there are people who use it to spite. The people who exclude you as a means of hurting you, really, it's not your problem. They really have something going on, because as adults, why would we do that? Why would you want to exclude somebody just so you could hurt them? Then it speaks of a deeper issue, a deeper problem that they have going on. So what I'd like you to do is investigate, why does this hurt so much? Why, when I get rejected by this group of people, it feels like this? And what are the things that you do to prevent yourself from either feeling it or to cope with it? Assess those coping mechanisms. Are they helping you? Are they putting you in a position where you're experiencing your mental health is not you're not as happy, your well-being is compromised, and your physical and your mental health is compromised. So think about, when it hurts, when I get hurt by rejection, what do I do? Thank you for joining me in this episode of Stories That Shape Us. I hope you'll join me on the next story.